Hi, it's Shaylin from Shaylin's Fairy Shop. I have always loved old-fashioned things, and letters in particular. There's something so beautiful about a handwritten letter, and even though I don't take the time to do it much anymore, it's always so much fun to write and receive those pretty, pretty letters where you've got fancy handwriting and calligraphy. And when I was little, I would decorate pen pal letters with a bajillion stickers. I would go all out. But one thing I've always wanted to do and never had the chance to was sealing wax, where you get a wax stick and you melt the wax onto your paper envelope and then you stamp it with one of those metal stamps, and you can have a monogram or anything you want on it. And I recently bought some beeswax to use as sealing wax, but I didn't feel like dishing out $30 for one of those stamps, so I thought I'd make my own. This is a tutorial for making your very own wax stamp. I've made one of these before and it turned out pretty well, even though it was just an experiment and I had no idea how it would work. So I'm going to try making a second. The gist of this project is that we will be drawing a design on the block and carving it out using a pyrography tool, which is a wood burner, and then using a Dremel to sand down the insides. So to begin, you just want to draw your design. I'm going to do a really basic heart, because that should hopefully be easy to do. So just draw your design on wherever you want it. Don't worry about getting all over the place. Like if your drawing doesn't turn out right, it doesn't need to look perfect to start. Now you are going to want a pyrography wand or tool, whatever you call it. I got this at Michael's. It was less than $20, I think. You want to be sure to have the sharp pointy tip on it, not one of the wider tip ones. The smaller the tip, the easier it will be. And since you're just burning the deep gouges in the wood, it doesn't need to be at a low setting to make it look pretty or anything. You're just going to be carving it out. Clearly a wood burner is really dangerous because it's just this really hot piece of metal, so be very careful when you do this. But you're just going to take the wand and carefully and slowly really slowly start drawing around your design. As you can see, this piece of wood that I'm using has paint and stuff on it, so it's giving off this little trail of white smoke that smells kind of weird. So I've actually got a mask on right now. I don't know if it's dangerous, but you may as well just assume so. You can see now that I'm using the edge of the tool to push down on the wood and make my gouges a little bit deeper. You do need to be careful when doing this that you don't make it too bumpy inside. We will be using a Dremel tool to sand out the insides, but if you make too many bumps and not enough of a flat gouge, you will have quite a difficult time sanding it down. And then get out a Dremel tool. Obviously you have to be really careful or you could sand your whole finger off or something like my dad said. So turn it on about medium and then just start sanding down the inside of your design. So when you're done sanding, it should be very even inside of the gouge that you just made. You can still see that I've got some bumps inside where my pyrography tool, I pushed the tip down, but it's decently even. I'm pretty happy with it. So if you've sanded it down well enough, you don't need to do this next step, but it is really useful to keep the wax from sticking inside of your design when you're stamping. So to keep the wax from sticking to the wood, it's helpful to dip it in some canola oil or vegetable oil or an oil of any kind. Just dip it in there and wipe it off. So it's time to give it a try. Let's see if it works. First I have to address my letter. So I got this wax from, I believe it was Green Tree Crafts on Etsy. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description and on my blog, but it's just a natural beeswax and color. This one's bright red. I also got some other really cool colors. And it is it's natural beeswax, so it's tougher than modern waxes. It's not necessarily going to go through the post very well. It may break because it's stiffer. It's what was used originally when you would actually seal letters to make sure they weren't tampered with. It's hard wax, so when you open the letter, it breaks, which also means that it will break in the mail. So I'm just dipping a bunch of wax on my paper here. I'm going to do about a dime or nickel size. I'll do a nickel size puddle of wax. It just takes a little bit of time to get all that wax there. Come on. There you go. That should be enough. So next, I'm gonna just let it sit for a moment. And then the moment of truth, will it work? So once the wax is a little bit stiff, just take my stamp and come and push down. And now I'm nervous, I hope it works. Okay, let the wax completely cool down. And then very, very gently wiggle it off. And will you look at that? It worked. Ta-da! I'm going to come in for a close-up here because it looks really cool and I'm very proud that it actually turned out quite well, I think. And I'm going to see how it holds up in the mail. It might actually survive. It depends on how much mishandling the letter would get. And I'm also going to try stamping the actual letter and then putting the letter inside an envelope. And I'm going to see if that will survive in the mail too. But for now, I just taught you how to make a wax stamp out of wood. So pretty cool. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you want to see this tutorial as a bunch of photos instead of a video, you can go to my website, shaylinsfairyshop.blogspot.com. And as always, I love it when people let me know when they use my tutorials. So you can email me and send me photos or questions or comments or anything. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. And let me know if you make your own wax stamp out of wood. It's pretty fun.